why do the major bass fishing organization cover up things that actually hurt other anglers? That's what we're going to talk about right now. Now, I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but over the years, fans at times have questioned the organizations that cover up things to not only keep them quiet, but to not damage an angler's reputation. But should that really be happening? We have to remember that Bass and MLF and MPFL and all of them, they really don't want to hurt an angler's reputation because a reputation means something. It means something to their sponsors, it means something to the organization itself because they're putting out that product for us to watch. And by not telling us what an angler did and getting penalized is very polarizing. They first come out with a press release to say, this angler did this. And in most cases, anglers will fight that decision. They don't want their reputation hurt. But those press releases are very simple. They just say, this angler broke this rule and he's penalized this much. And the angler goes back and disputes it, tries to get it redone, and then we never hear anything back on what happened. But why? The major organizations aren't going to come out with another press release. They've done as much damage as they want to do. But when the angler fights it and then goes on social media and talks about it everywhere, you kind of wonder, is the angler correct or was the organization correct? And we never really know if that dispute is overturned. They don't tell us any more and they don't tell us any less. They just keep a fine line and say, this is our stance and that's it. And it's been this way as long as I've covered bass fishing. I think I started somewhere around 2009. And my question is this the right thing to do? I believe tournaments need to be more transparent. They need to tell us all the stuff that's going on. If an angler is doing something wrong, not only should he be penalized, but we should know about the penalty and why. And we need to know why he disputes it and what happens. Because I think there's some legitimacy issues and some trust issues that are going on right now. And I do believe a lot of it has to do with social media. There's never been more information out there for us to know and to figure out. And I really believe that the anglers should be allowed to speak their mind. I don't think we need to have it with someone that's in their family or a loved one or spouse or anyone like that. I think the anglers should be able to fight their case and say, yes, I did this. No, I didn't do this. And let's see the proof, because right now, I think there's more cover-ups going on in bass fishing and professional bass fishing than ever before. Take, for instance, inconclusive polygraphs. Should an angler forfeit if it's inconclusive? What if it's one of the bigger names in the industry and it's someone that we all love to watch, and that person getting a penalty or having to forfeit or having to be disqualified from that tournament hurts the viewership on bass? Especially if it's a big, big name. And if they realize it's a big name or someone that we all love, are they doing the same penalty that they would for the little guy? For the guy that's in 79th place every time? There's a huge difference between those top 10 anglers and those bottom 10 anglers. And I think there's the biggest cover-up I see is the no information rule. And it was one of the hottest topics in 2024. This year. I believe it's the hardest to enforce, but I also think it's going on a lot more than we will ever know. And there's anglers saying that other anglers have insider information on where they're going, where the tournaments are going to be held the next year, because their loved ones or someone they know looks into the permits that come with having a tournament at that lake. And if they see the permits being held or someone's giving them insider information, who's saying that that angler isn't going out during the year and going fishing at that place? If an angler possibly knows that Lake X is where they're going to fish at the Classic next year, why wouldn't he go fish as much as possible before it's off limits? And this is something that's said throughout the industry and throughout the community that's happening more and more. And I believe if an angler has a penalty for X amount of time or for a day or whatever it is, we all should know exactly why it happened. No rumors, no gossip, straight line. This is who did it, this is how we caught them, and this is their penalty. Except we don't get that. We learn about the person and the penalty, and that's it. And the penalty should match the rule that they broke. It isn't fair for other anglers to get a minor penalty and continue to do the same thing over and over. And we might never know it, but they continue to do the same mistakes because the penalties are so weak that they don't mind getting the penalty or the possible penalty. There was a recent video by Keith Boucher who wanted to put up a drone to find out where the spot he was going in his Off the Grid series. And he made mention that he's never put the drone up during a tournament or during practice. And it was a weird comment to hear. And I thought, why would he say that? I never questioned that Keith was ever doing anything wrong and still don't. But obviously someone's put a drone up at some point in time during practice. And that's against the rules. You don't just come up with that comment out of nowhere. But who's putting up drones during practice? And these are just some of the little cover-ups I think that are happening more than we know and are happening in the past. But why aren't we told about it? Why is it being covered up? Why aren't those anglers being penalized? Or why aren't we finding out that those anglers are doing it? And I think that's where the industry has really gotten bad in the last few years. I really dislike that there's zero transparency. I think if an angler does something wrong, not only should all the anglers know, but they should know what the penalty was, where he did it, and why, and then what the penalty was. Because if we continue to just give little penalties and the anglers think they can get away with it, and not all anglers, there's just a certain amount that seem to do this. And the rumor mill is crazy with the amount of cover-ups that have happened in the past. And with anglers being able to pass polygraphs, I question polygraphs now. And we have to admit, we know they're not admissible in court. But if an angler is able to pass it, or an angler fails it because a question is asked improperly, should that have an issue too? Now, this is a weird one for me, I'll be honest. I have a ton more notes that I'd like to talk about, but I'm not going to at this point in time. And I feel kind of guilty doing this video. But there seems to be more cover-ups going on in bass fishing than ever before, and it's starting to irritate me and piss me off. Because I think everyone should have a fair playing field. But it's kind of seeming like maybe it isn't as fair as we thought. So in the comments below, I want to hear your comments on this topic and if you've heard about any cover-ups. Because I'm making notes. But comment below and tell me what you think. Thanks for hitting that like and subscribe button. Let me just say, another fantastic month. We are in December. I'm filming this right now on December 8th. It has been absolutely since April, it's been absolutely ridiculous. So thank you. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to all the new members. I'm going to do Friday nights at 8 a live chat on question and answers. I might get some people to come on, but it's just a good way for us to talk, to get to know each other better, and to have fun. So Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on the YouTube channel. But thank you for everybody. If you're not a subscriber, you should be. It's quick, easy, and it's free. Just click that button, and let me just say thank you ahead of time. So thank you. Remember, take your kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, and get your fish on.